Sorry. Okay, so we are live right now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. So my name is Timitope Rebecca Abisoye, and today I'd like to welcome everyone to the EdenWorld Green Talk live show. And before I move forward, I have someone on the table. This is all about, we talk about the green space. And okay, I would like to, set the floor for Sena to introduce herself officially.
Well, welcome everybody. Really nice to be here, and thanks Rebecca for the invite. Really nice that I can talk a little bit about the work of the organization I work for, and that is Justdiggit. So today, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what we do.
All right, thank you. So, without wasting much of our time, we have a lot of people online. This is actually being broadcast live on YouTube. So, we have people who are following us. And, I have a lot of people that have been messaging me like, okay, what is Justdiggit? What are they doing? I'm like, okay, you just have to wait till Tuesday and you'll be able to learn about, the innovative method they are using in the green space. So right now, I would like to give you, like 10 to 15 minutes to tell us about, what you guys do. So you can have the floor.
That's really nice. Can I also share my screen so that I have a
Please do. You can. Yes, you can.
Let me see. Sorry.
It's fine.
Can you see the presentation like this?
So I'm not seeing it. I am not seeing it yet. Let me know if you have issue.
Yeah, let me see. I think I shared the wrong screen. I will do it like this. So I think now you can see it, right?
Did you click on share?
Sorry, what did you say? I think the internet is bad.
Okay,
let me see. Yes, now I can see you again.
Okay, sometimes we deal with technical issue and these are out of control, so there's nothing we can do. So I think you can proceed.
Okay, yeah, then I will start sharing again. I'm not sure whether it will work, but let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see this presentation?
Yeah, sure, I can.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, then I will start off. Sorry for the inconvenience. Sometimes, some technical issues come up. That's always the case with those type of live streams and also video calling. Sometimes the internet connection also plays a role. But thanks again, all of you guys, for being here and listening to the story of Justdiggit, because I really would love to tell you a little bit more about what Justdiggit does. And especially about our regreening projects and the techniques we are using in this regreening project. So first, a little bit about our approach, because what do we do? Well, we bring back vegetation in dry and degraded areas in Africa, and nowadays we are mainly located in the eastern part of Africa. And why do we do this? Well, research has shown that nature-based solutions are 37% of the solution to climate change. And one type of nature-based solutions is bringing back vegetation. So it's really important to cool down our earth to bring back vegetation. So you can see vegetation as the earth or air conditioning of our planet. That can be on a really global scale because they take up vegetation takes up a lot of carbon dioxide, which obviously has a global effect on global warming. But also on a micro scale, it can cool down the earth because, for example, if you have a tree, it provides shade, and this shade also cools down the direct surrounding of the tree. So how do we bring back vegetation within our projects? Well, we have a lot of different techniques we use, but I want to highlight 3 of them. So the first one is rainwater harvesting, because what we see is that in most African countries there is rain. However, when it rains really hard, and because of droughts and also because of overgrazing, the top layer of the soil has become really hard. So what we see is that when it rains, the rain is washing away to lower areas where it causes floodings. And when it washes away, it takes with it the top layer of the soil, and this is most of the time the most fertile layer of the soil as well. So what you're left with is basically an even more dry and degraded area. So what we do in our project areas, and we mainly do this in Kenya, but also in Tanzania, is that together with the local communities, we dug crescent-shaped holes, which we name bunds. And those bunds are meant to collect rainwater that's running down hills. So by opening up the hard top layer of the soil and by capturing the rainwater now has the chance to infiltrate into the soil. And what you then get is that the water balance in the soil is restored. So this way, the seeds that are still present in the soil, but also sometimes in the bunds, we also sow a bit of grass seeds, because those are really sustainable. It's really sustainable vegetation, and that's really important to keep the area green as well. What we see is that those trees are going to sprout and really regreen the bund. So I have a short time lapse which shows how fast those bunds can cause regreening in a degraded area. So here you see that at the end of a dry season, there's almost no vegetation anymore. And then the first rains come, which are captured by the bunds. And already a couple of days afterwards, you see the first vegetation growing. And first, the vegetation is really growing back inside of the bunds, but later on, it also spreads outside of the bunds. So what you get is a whole regreened area in a couple of months. And even in the dry season, the vegetation remains. It's a bit dry, but it will become green again when it rains. So yeah, it makes sure that the area becomes green again. So up to date, we have dug over 185,000 of those bunds in Kenya and in Tanzania. So the other technique I want to highlight is the Kisiki High technique, which is another name for the farmer-managed natural regeneration technique. But that's a whole mouthful, so we like to call it Kisiki High, which is another word for living stump in Swahili. We use this technique mainly in our projects in Tanzania, because what we see over there is that there were a lot of trees, but those trees have been cut down in the past. And the Kisiki High technique helps farmers to bring back those trees. So what you see is that the stems of those trees and also the root systems of those trees are often still alive. So what you get is that there are a lot of twigs growing from those stems of those trees. But what you also see is that all the energy of the root system is going to all those twigs. So the tree doesn't have the chance to grow into a big tree, but stays a kind of a bush. So with the Kisiki High technique, the farmers prune a lot of those twigs and only keep 1 or 2 strong twigs behind. And what you then see is that the energy of the root system goes to those twigs, and those twigs then get the chance to grow into real big trees again. And the benefit of this technique over planting trees within our project areas is that the root system is already there, and it's already really deep into the soil, so it can also reach the water that's deeper into the soil. And the trees are all native, so they are all used to grow there, so they have a higher survival rate. And up to date, we have brought back over 6.3 million trees together with the farmers in Tanzania. So the last technique I want to highlight are the grassy banks. The grassy banks are patches of green land in communal land, which is often from the Maasai. And those grassy banks are run, managed and maintained by Maasai women groups. So it's also a woman empowerment project. So what the Maasai women do is that they sow grass seeds in those banks, and those grasses start to grow. So really, regreen this area. And when the grasses are big enough, they will produce grass seeds, and those grass seeds are harvested by the Maasai women, and they sell them on the local market or to other regreening projects. And this gives them an extra income, for example, to pay school fees or hospital bills. So it makes them really more independent. And this is what a large-scale grassy bank looks like in a communal area. And you really see that it's a patch of green in a barren surrounding. But what are the effects of bringing back vegetation? Well, there are a lot of benefits. One of the benefits is that it's increasing the biodiversity. We not only see more animals within our project areas, but also a higher diversity of plants. It supports livelihoods. In our case, in Kenya, it's the people who join our project get paid for their work they are doing. And in Tanzania, by bringing back trees, the soil will become more fertile, and also there will be more water into the soil because the trees help to infiltrate the water into the soil. So the farmers get a higher crop yield because of that. And it increases the water availability of the soil, and it positively affects the regional climate. And above all, when you do this on a global scale, it also reverses climate change. So that was in a really short presentation what we do and how we do this, and we do a lot more. But I think for the regreening work, this is really what we do. So, questions.
Yeah, I mean that's really a beautiful one. Knowing the innovative technology, the techniques that's being used in Africa in restoring the green ecosystem, and I love the fact that especially the rain method, it's a way of maximizing the rainwater to ensure that the seed sprouts in the ecosystem. But I would like to ask. There is no project. In every project, it comes with challenges. It comes with a lot of ups and downs. So I would like to ask you, with these techniques you are using at Justdiggit, is there, there might be people out there who also want to make use of these techniques. So it would be better for them to know everything that is, that surrounds the technique. So I would like to know, are there any challenges that, Justdiggit faced in the process of implementing this innovative solutions to the ecosystem?
Yeah, of course, there are also always challenges, just like you put it. We work, for example, in Kenya, we work together with local communities. So we really need the communities to be excited about the projects as well. And sometimes this goes a bit harder than other times. So that's really one of the challenges we meet. But most of the time, when we explain well what we will do, and that they also that they are really in charge of the project, because that's really important for us as well. The projects are run by the local communities and not by us, so they are really in charge of their own land. So once that's clear, and also once they see all the benefits of regreening their own land, that really helps. But that of course is a challenge. Sometimes we also see that certain techniques doesn't work in certain areas. For example, the water do not work in every area. So yeah, the regreening techniques we use are really specific for the certain areas we are active in. So in case of the water buns, they need to be dug on a slope. So as long as you have no slope, then the water buns will not work, because then they can't capture the water running down hills. And sometimes also the water runs break down because the water is flowing too hard or something else happens. So yeah, those things do happen in our project areas. And yeah, the key is to keep on monitoring and keep on evaluating what we are doing and see what best techniques are to use in our project areas.
Great. That's awesome. It's really great to see how, the challenges and how, you people are trying to blend along with it and see the best innovative techniques to be able to use. And moving on to my second question, I would like to ask you, this is Africa and Africa has its ups and downs. Now you mentioned some challenges earlier. So I would like to ask that this method, do you think it's sustainable? Because if we look at the global agenda right now, especially when we talk about, the CBD goals, achieving 2030, goals, 2050 goals of living in harmony with nature and all that, do you think these techniques is actually sustainable towards, in a way, also contributing to the world's global goal?
Yeah, I definitely think so, because yeah, our techniques we use in our project areas are most of the time really low key. So basically everyone can do it. For example, with the buns, you only need a shovel to dig them. In case of the Kisiki High technique, you basically need something to prune the twigs with, and that's it. But yeah, the hardest thing there is to maintain the tree and make sure that your cattle is not going to eat the little twigs, because they really like it. So you need also some protection for the trees. But yeah, I really think that those really low-key regreening techniques can help us to regreen on a larger scale as well. And that is one of Justdiggit's goals as well, and also together with other NGOs, because we can't do this alone. We need to work together to regreen Africa and to regreen the world. So yeah, together with other partners, we are really scaling up, and we are using a lot of communication channels to reach out to farmers also outside of our project areas. And we really want to show them yeah, that regreening can be really easy, and we really want to show them how they can regreen also. So we give them tips and tricks how to start regreening themselves. So in that way, we really can scale it up and regreen in a sustainable way as well.
Okay, good to know. Thank you very much. So while you've actually answered my own questions, I would like to, check some questions in the comment box from the audience. So I've been looking at a question here, and it says this like the person is mentioning in reference to the rainwater techniques, that is this a new techniques or probably a techniques that has been involved, and is this kind of indigenous to some specific locations or common? So I think what this person is trying to say is that when we talk about indigenous ways of doing things, so is this actually a indigenous method, and is it new or it has been in existence for some while?
No, they are definitely not new, and we are definitely not the one who invented all of the regreening techniques, basically. So the water buns have been used before, but yeah, not in the areas we work in. So what we do is that together with the local communities and also a local NGO who is also involved in nature conservation in that area, we look up which regreening techniques there are and which can be applied in that area based on research. So no, we definitely didn't invent this rainwater harvesting technique, and also the Kisiki High technique isn't invented by us, but has been done for years and years.
Okay. From your answer, so definitely that means that okay, these techniques has actually been invoked, but then I think you see it as possibly something that is worth doing in a way of restoring the ecosystem, but the people are not really into it. And, we just want to promote these techniques as a way of regreening the ecosystem and also cooling the earth.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let me also check for another questions. I think that's the only question I see for now. Okay. So I think thank you for your time. Thank you to everyone that joined us online. We appreciate you for your time and for your presence today. And Tina, thank you. We really appreciate you so much. This recording will be made on available and we also send it to you. So we are EdenWorld Initiative. We are a group of young minds just like you, trying to promote ecosystem restoration and also sharing techniques to other NGO on how they can actually regreen the ecosystem. So we really say thank you